You know, I love my sleep. I really do. But I was up way too long yesterday just staring at the 4 extra fast passes, just wanting to risk it all and read it right through. It's been 3 months. Wow, hello. I am excited to talk about more Purple Hyacinth chapters for the upcoming weeks/months. But I want to keep future chapter content out of these reviews, so I'll take these discussions day by day, so expect some fire Purple Hyacinth videos all week as we have Season 2 dropped with Chapter 50 today, July 14th, 2020. Now there is also a recap that was published on Webtoons at the same time, and it is beautiful and unexpected, and I will make a video on it probably after I get to Chapter 54, which is the most recent FastPass chapter. Just a heads up, I may try to add some visuals throughout the week and throughout the coming videos to try to change it up so you guys can get a little more of, little more than just my beautiful voice in these reviews. So let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are as I experiment with the production quality. Also, YouTube has added this amazing feature that's only available if you like and subscribe this video. No, I'm joking. You can sub if you want, but the new feature is the timestamps that you can see on the progress bar of the video. So skip around to a section that interests you more, or you can watch the whole video if you want. Alright, so this intro is long enough. Let's begin. Chapter 50 is a warm welcome indeed. And for those who haven't listened to one of my chapter reviews before, I love titles, and most webtoons have some pretty terrible or non-existent titles. So I usually make my own. With Purple Hyacinth, the titles are amazing, and I don't want to just reuse it for my videos, so I take the last word and add another alliterating word to it. I think the welcome was warm for everyone for this chapter. Warm for us, the readers, because, it's been a minute since we've seen these characters. Now, the music for this chapter, the 2 tracks that were used were Dissonance and The Deal. Now, again, I'm not a music expert, and this is the only series I listen to music with the chapter because, Sophism curates songs for these chapters, so I gotta give them some love. It starts off light and playful, but as we get through the chapter, especially at the pace that I was reading, when we got to more of an eye view panels or the fisheye lens shots, and we get tension rising that the soundtrack actually accentuates. And maybe it's just me, but it kind of sounded a little bit like a quickening heartbeat. Again, I don't know jack about music, so take these thoughts about them with a grain of salt. Now let's get into the meat of the chapter, starting off with the lies. The link for this chart will be in the description and can be found on Reddit. I will be updating it as the season progresses, and we'll be blurring out the FastPass lies so anyone who doesn't have FastPass can still look at it without getting spoiled. So the first lie: the pleasure is mine, Officer Sinclair. I'm excited to join the team. So Kieran knows this is a difficult situation, so he's trying to find a way to apologize and diffuse the tension because, of course, the last that Lauren and Kieran saw of each other was in chapter 43, where things got heated to say the least. This lie could be either a way for Lauren to focus on him, or just that he had to say the pleasure is his to seem most natural with the rest of the squad, because that's probably this line that he used right here. It's "the pleasure is mine, Officer blank, I'm excited to join the team," is what he used to say to everyone else before Lauren arrived. And I'll come back to the panels that overlap and the parallels with chapter 43 later in the video. Our next lie is Kieran telling William, "I look forward to working with you." Which of course makes sense that this is a lie because his real objective is to work with Lauren and only Lauren. This could be his way of notifying Lauren that he's not trying to break the rule of getting people that she cares about involved. But of course the more rational conclusion that Lauren arrives at is, he won't be working with them if they're dead. Now let's look at some speculative lies, mainly coming from Lauren because we can't obviously tell when she lies because her ability doesn't activate for her. The face she makes when she says "nice to meet you, Mr. White," oh my goodness, I was scared. Of course this is a lie, and the face is so unnatural that I don't think there's any way that Kym didn't even pick up on this. Lauren uses this excuse to get something in her locker, which we've never seen before, and I'm assuming this excuse is to go to Kieran's direction. And it's great that Kieran didn't lie in the bathroom, or throughout that entire bathroom scene, which I want to say, that bathroom is huge. That's a nice bathroom. Regardless, in the bathroom scene, he was trying his hardest to get across to Lauren that he's telling her everything that he knows. Maybe a lie here would have at least gotten her attention, but I think it would not have resulted in a scenario that he wants, because if he did lie in this moment, Lauren would have shot him, most likely. So we got a total of 3 lies to get the season started, or 3 sentences of lies. I'm probably gonna lump the first 2 together. The first panel of the premiere was a promo banner for season 2. I think it gives us an overall picture of season 2 in general, because no matter what goes on between Lauren and Kieran, they are bound together until they both either finish off the Phantom Scythe or the Phantom Scythe finishes them off. And we have Kym and William in the back just looking at our Lune struggling to keep it together. We know that Kym and William are tasked to find out who Lune is, so I mean, they're looking at them right now. Le Journal makes an appearance here, and we see volume something. I tried to enlarge it, but it was a little too pixelated. I'm sure it still says volume 10 because we're still in December of XX27, unless we've hit the new year with XX28. Then it might be volume 11, because I'm predicting that Le Journal newspaper started around the time of the train bombing, and its volumes go up by 1 per year. And the next couple of panels for this chapter come from season 1 finale, chapter 49, where Kieran gets introduced as the new Archivist in the 11th precinct, except the panels in this chapter and chapter 50 have a black background to them. The fisheye lens / perspective is an amazing view of seeing the intensity and adding more depth into the frame. Anyone who has one of the new iPhones can definitely tell you that it's something alright, but seeing this enlarged or altered shape in the anime, manga, or webtoon medium is kind of amazing. My favorite anime, Steins Gate, uses the TV screen in the first episode to create this kind of effect while introducing the main cast. And this Naruto color spread from one of the chapters is great, even though I'm not a big Naruto fan. You gotta give Kishimoto for this amazing art. Now, in Purple Hyacinth, we get to hear early in this chapter with Lauren just dumbfounded that Kieran, the Purple Hyacinth, who almost killed her a couple chapters ago, is in the place with all her co-workers. We get this effect where we see things from Lauren's eyes for about 6 panels as she tries to process everything that's going on. And all this buildup with the panels and the shocked look gets her to the conclusion that she feared the most. Another example, like what happened in the tower with the Lune victims, is what the leader has sent Kieran here to the 11th precinct. And we see that scary image of Kieran slaughtering all her co-workers because, well, we know that can't really say no to the leader's directives. So this is a valid conclusion to come to. I like the little nod to Kieran's policy of I don't use guns, and we haven't really seen him use one yet. I swear there's a line where he says this somewhere in season 1, and I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it. This chapter, more than any chapter, got me thinking about an anime adaptation and what that would be like, with all these overlaps with chapter 43 to show the trauma that still inflicts both Lauren and Kieran from that altercation. And it's definitely heightened here in this chapter. The reaching of a hand, the tilt of a head, the grasp of a hand, and the sight of a neck triggers both of them to what happened. And we see the fruits of that trauma here. Of course, it'll probably take chapters, maybe even a full season for them to truly make amends and get back to being partners / subordinates, and that was chilling. Lauren at least tries to rationalize that even Kieran wouldn't do something this crazy when she thinks about, well, we're in a police station in broad daylight. And Kym's line kind of struck out to me when she says you can run, Lauren, but you can't hide. And while Lauren laughs this off to seem natural, what Observant Kym said was very true. This situation is not something that she can just wish away, as she does exactly as stated. She can't hide from Kieran when he's at her work, so she runs at him with everything she's got. We get a little bit of a parallel to chapters 7 and 9 when Lauren was a little more hesitant of their deal, and she's definitely unsure now. She thinks, I could stop him, tell everyone who he is. And again, this is very similar to what she was thinking in chapter 9 when Lauren thinks, all I have to do is shout. Tell the others I recognize him from the other night. What's different here is Kieran's attitude. Kieran in these early chapters, especially in chapter 9, seems to taunt her by saying, I dare you. While here in chapter 50, he's trying his hardest to explain everything. We see the after effects of the concussion that Lauren got from Belladonna for getting rough with Tim's sake, as we get a panel with the same throbbing contrast panel from the finale here in this chapter. Now, I wonder how else this concussion that Lauren hasn't really given that much time to heal will affect her performance as an officer in the coming chapters. So Kieran's outfit is still fire. I know it's been a couple months since we saw it. I think we will probably get a change up with a brown jacket for Kieran, because that's what the Archivist, who William mentioned in this chapter will arrive soon, was wearing when he delivered the Lune letter to Captain Herman in chapter 13. I'm assuming that brown jacket dude is the Archivist because, well, he was pushing the Archivist trolley around. Poor Kieran's glasses. I know that they're kind of a prop, but, you know, as someone who wears glasses and seeing someone else's glasses fall off like that kind of hurts. Kieran doesn't know about what happened to Lauren since the cave. So seeing Lauren suddenly wince at pain probably makes him think that this is an effect of what he did to her at the cave, which thankfully it's not. Granted, some of the trauma that he's inflicted are clear psychological pains that both of them have inflicted on each other that won't heal anytime soon. But the concussion, I don't think is Kieran's fault. When Kieran says, "I'm not here to kill anyone," we know it's the truth, as there's no need for him to get anyone in Lauren's life involved because the leader only wants Lune. Again, I think that Kieran is trying everything in his power to stay true to the rules and conditions that they established in chapter 10. Lauren is not, sadly, in a state of listening, again, which is understandable as she throws his own words back at him. In chapter 43, he talks about the directives that he got, such as killing all the Lune victims in the tower, as his hobbies, and I think Lauren still hasn't really processed everything. Granted, things have been going left and right, and she's getting some crazy reveals about how she has interpreted information and clues for the past 10 years. I do think that Lauren still hasn't processed that the Phantom Scythe is really good at getting people in places that they need them, as she really hadn't thought too much about how Harvey even slipped into the 11th precinct. And of course, that's kind of how, Kieran got his position as well. We already know that after chapter 43, Lauren has come to the conclusion that she doesn't need this Lune operation to continue. That it's just better for her to go about it alone. And I predicted, wrongly so, that both Kieran and Lauren would end up at the Carmine Camellia separately and be forced back together as Lune. Now, the finale of season 1 took an unexpected turn with that flashback, but I think this end of Lune that we get at the end of this chapter is kind of a bait and switch. While Lauren is not ready to come together yet, there will probably be some sort of incident that will force them back together. Now, I don't want to speculate too much because, well, there's 4 other chapters for me to read that are out, so I can just read them. I'll probably make bigger predictions sections, probably with my chapter 43 review/discussion video. That's a long one, but that's all for the video. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts. I really do appreciate it. We got a lot of videos coming this week. What are your thoughts of this opening for season 2? As always, make sure to heart the chapter when you finish reading and comment to be a part of the community. The subreddit is up with various threads so that people can talk about their thoughts that won't get lost in the volume if anyone is interested. If you get a chance, subscribe to get access to these videos every week. My social media can be found by searching Inspirational on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to my designer. You can find his work on Instagram at JatinV_photography. See you all next time.